Tonight's lesson is lesson 72, which is area, and this is the first part that we're going to talk about area. Now, we've done this a few times before, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth. So if you look at the edges of the room that you're in, it could be a kitchen or a bedroom, where the floor and the walls meet, you might see a strip of molding or a baseboard that runs all the way around the room, except for at the doorways. This molding is the perimeter or of the floor of your room. If you're to buy molding at the store, you would buy a length of it and pay for it by the foot or the yard. The floor of the room might be covered by tile. That tile illustrates the area. So if I were to buy for that molding, I just want to know the length around my shape or your room. But when we're talking about area, we want to know about the tiles or the carpet inside of it. So perimeter is going to be around, and area is everything that's inside of it. A square tile illustrates the units we're using when we measure area. So if you've ever heard of something called 1 square inch or 1 square unit of measure, we're talking about a square, and it's 1 inch this way, 1 inch this way, 1 inch this way, and 1 inch this way. So that is a square inch or a square foot. Most houses, I'm sure you've heard, are measured in square feet. So this is 1 square inch or foot. All right. For the first example, in a classroom, the floor was 30 tiles long and 25 tiles wide. What was the area of the floor? So it is 30 tiles long going this way. I'm going to underline that. And 25 tiles wide. So going this way it's 30 and going down it's 25. So to find everything in the middle, we're going to have to multiply. Go ahead and try this multiplication problem by yourself. Alright, and I am going to do it with the offset 0. So I would do 25 times 3, and I would offset my 0. Kind of just draw a dotted line. 3 times 5, 15. 3 times 2, 6 plus 1, 7, and then my 0. So my answer is 750 tiles, but I'm going to put square tiles, because we're talking about in squares. How many tiles are in here in this square? We have 750 of those square tiles. So when you're dealing with area, your answer will always have the word square in it, whether it be a square foot, a square inch, a square unit, a square tile. It's always going to be squared because they are little tiny squares that make up our inside of our rectangle or triangle. And this is the unit, or this is the formula that we always use. Area equals length times width. And that's something that we have learned a few times, but I just wrote it down just in case you forgot so that we can remember. Alright, the next example says, use a formula to estimate the area of a room that is 4 feet 3 inches long and 12 feet 8 inches wide. So you need to estimate. So first you're going to round those numbers either up or down, and then you're going to multiply them. Go ahead, try it yourself, and then you can correct with me as we go along. Okay, so if I have 4 feet 3 inches, I know that there are 12 inches in a foot, and so I'm going to round that 3 inches back down to 14 feet. And I have 12 feet 8 inches, and I know that 12 inches are in a foot, so 6 is right in my middle, and 8's above that. So I'm going to round that 12 up to a 13. 13 feet. Go ahead and multiply these together, because this is my length, 14 feet long, and my width, which I rounded to 13 feet. So go ahead and round, and then go ahead and multiply your two numbers. Alright, and when you multiply them, you should get 182. Now, what is my unit of measure? what is my unit that I'm going to put at the end? If you said feet, you're half right. But like I said before, it's going to be square feet. And that is my correct answer. Alright, and for the last example, kind of a long one. Alright, here we go. Maggie has a display case that is 30 centimeters long, 10 centimeters wide, and 14 centimeters high. So I have 30 centimeters long, 10 centimeters wide, and 14 centimeters. This is going up high. Maggie wants to paint the ends of the case. So she wants to paint right here, and she wants to paint right here. Determine the area that she needs to paint. Okay, so first, what I'm going to do is I want to find the area of just one of these squares. What's all inside? That's what I'm going to find. So go ahead and try and find the area of just one square. To do that, I would say area equals length times width, which my length and my width, I would say area equals 14 times 10. And we all know that when we multiply with a 10, we just have to put our 0 on the end, 140. But with this, I just found the area of one square. And she wants to find the area, how much is the area of both. So for that, I'm going to double it. So I'm going to have 140 square centimeters here and 140 square centimeters there. So 140 plus 140, or you can multiply, equals 280 square centimeters. And we will be doing a lot of these in class, so we will practice more examples as well. Alright, for your lesson practice, Lola's bedroom is 10 feet wide and 12 feet long. I want you to find the perimeter and then find the area.